Okay, so today I'm just going to quickly show you how to use Godot. It's very simple to use. All you want to do new project, and then you name whatever you want. So I'm just going to name the tutorial, and then you can do compatibility, mobile if you want to. I don't know, I haven't even used that. Or forward plus. Forward plus is for the higher graphics, but it can only support PC. Compatibility can support like any platform, but it isn't as good graphics. You can use forward plus. Now we're gonna create the folder. Just click that button. You can create and edit. It'll take you into your project. And from here, it's very simple. So you can choose to make a 2D scene for a 2D game, 3D scene for a 3D game, or if you want to make like a menu or like UI thing, you just want to use a user interface, which is a control. Anyways, we're just gonna do 2D to start. So 2D, I got that. Now I can right click on it, add child node, or I can do just the plus while selecting it. And I'm just going to add a sprite. So I can add a sprite. So yeah, now this is my node 2D, that's the parent. The sprite doesn't have a texture. Let's quick load. And we got an icon. So now we got our sprite. And you can like code with him. You can make him move around and stuff. Make an enemy. I don't know, man. You do you. But yeah, there's all sorts of nodes in here. You can use a sprite. A lot of the time, what you want to do, you want to make a mesh. Not a mesh, but you want to make a body. So if you search body, you got rigid bodies, character bodies, stack bodies. Stack bodies only move based on animation. Character bodies are used for, like characters because they get like built-in stuff for movement. Rigid bodies already have physics built into them. I'm just going to do a static body. And then to make a static body work, or any of the bodies, you have to make sure it has a collision object or shape and a mesh instance. Now you can see it still has one of these. You need to select the shape. So now that the static body has a shape, and I'm going to give it a texture. So now it's also an icon. We can just, how about we move it over, and now you can see it in all its glory. Now if I run the game, we'll save it. You can see we got our stuff. Anyways, now for the mesh, I guess you're not supposed to texture like that, but yeah. Anyways, so that's how you use that. So next, we're just gonna delete this. We're gonna create a 3D scene. Now you can see 3Ds for cool kids. If you use 2D, then you don't use 3D. It's just a fact. Anyways, we'll make a stack body 3D. Then we'll give it a collision shape. No, not 2D. A collision shape 3D. It's defaulted to 2D because that's what I was using before. And a mesh instance 3D. And we'll give this a shape. T 3D box. And now we got this. I don't use 2D, so sorry, I don't know how the textures work on that. Anyways, 3D is for cool kids. That's what I use, so that's what I'll be showing you. So yeah, now that's how you make like a working body. You can make a character body, and we'll add our collision shape and mesh. We're gonna make this our player, so we're just going to do this, and basically we can right click on the character. We want to attach script, and then template. We want to use the basic movement template to make this simple. And all you gotta do is for this UI left, UI right, UI up, UI down. All you have to do for that is you want to replace that with left, and then right, and then up. Just get rid of the UI under dash basically. And UI accept. So we're gonna do project up here, project settings, input map, and we're gonna add some new actions. So we're gonna do left, right, up, down, and accept. And so left would be the A key, right would be the D key, up would be the W key, down would be the S key, and accept should be space. So now we're gonna save this thing, scene. We're gonna save the script, and let's see if this works. First, let's make an area you can move on. So we're just gonna move our static by down. We'll use this as the floor, and we'll change the collision. It's the wrong one. This box shape. We'll make it like 0.5 because it doesn't need to be that big. And then 8, 8. Now let's make it the same for the mesh. I want to make it 8, 8, and 0.5. There we go. So now we should be good. Let's test this, see if it works at all. Oh, and what I forgot to do is we want to add a camera 3D. We'll actually just add that here to the main scene, because I don't think that movement includes, if I check, it does not include like the mouse movement, so this isn't for a first person controller entirely. I'm gonna rotate it, and finally, to actually see stuff, we need to add a light. So you got plenty of lights in here. Directional light, that's for like the sun. This is what I think I mostly use a directional light. Or no, I mostly use an omni light for lighting up rooms. It looks nice. But spotlight's like a flashlight. Spotlights in this game are kind of goofy though. But we're just going to use a omni light to light up the entire scene. You see it lights up an area. We're going to turn up that energy. See what does this look like. And look, it works. You guys moving around. Now you can make a lot better movement and stuff, but we're not focusing on any of that. We're just giving you the basics. So now we got that. And next we're going to cover animation. So for our static body, let's make it so it falls. How about that? So animation player, we're going to add that. We also want a timer because those are useful. I'll show you what we'll do with that in a second. And what we're going to use this for, down here in the animation menu that'll open up, click animation, new, name it floor ball. Perfect. Beautiful. Amazing. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make it so we go to our static body, and we're going to go to transform, and there's this key icon for position. Just add that, create, doesn't matter about the type, and then after 1 second we'll make it so it is dropped all the way down there. Bam. So now we can play the animation and it just falls down there. So now how we're going to play this animation though, that is where it's interesting, right? So what we're going to do is we are going to, and we could just use the player script for this. And the physics process delta, we'll just make it, or let's add some variables at the top. So we got at on ready, we got at export. What do these mean? You know, at on ready, this just means it's like on ready, basically. You don't really need to worry about that. Just this is what you'll use. Most of your variables will be at on ready, I'm sure. Export, it means that if I would be to click on the character, I would see it like over here in the menu, so it's changeable from the outside, basically. Like if I was in the enemy script, I could change it on the character because it's exported. So like export var Zumba equals 10, right? Now we got Zumba over here, and now from an outside script, you can edit this. Like you can change it in game from the enemy script. Anyways, what we're gonna do though is we're gonna do edit on ready var, or actually let's do edit export var because I can show you something interesting. This could be node edit export var timer, or no, that's the thing. Timer equals timer. Yeah, so that should be good. And now we can assign it as the timer there. So what I did here is I did export, so it exports over here, then variable because it's a variable. I named it timer, and I made it so the type that it's gonna be is a timer. So when I click on this to assign it to something in the scene, I can only select a timer because it's the type. We What you can also do, to be more general, is node 3D. If I did that, then I could assign it to anything. I couldn't assign it to a timer or animation player because those aren't nodes. But yeah, those are like resources. But we're gonna use timer. So we assign it. Oh, forgot to save it. Assign it to timer, make sure that. And then add export var. Anim player is going to be an animation player. So that should be good. Assign that. And now what we're gonna do is timer dot start and then 5, or no, let's do 3. So it'll start on a timer of 3 seconds. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the timer node, and each node has its own like special signals you can use, and I'll show you how to use those right now. But a timer has the timeout signal, that's its unique signal. Character body has no unique signals. I know a lot of things have unique signals, like areas have a lot of unique signals that I'll show you later. But basically, animation player, we are going, or no, timer, we're going to do timeout, and we're going to connect it to the character body. So now, basically what will happen is, we'll start the timer right as the game starts, physics process, that's just always happening. And we're actually going to make a var timer started equals false to make sure that we only start at once. That's not infinitely starting. If timer started equals false, or equals, because if you just do one equal sign, it'll think that you're assigning it a value, but you're just supposed to be checking the value, so you have to do equals in an if statement. And this is how if statements work, you just add the colon at the end. Then timer.start, and then we're going to do 3. So then we're going to set timer started equals true. That way it doesn't do it again. We're also going to enter timer in the inspector over here. We're going to do timer. Okay. We're going to make it one shot. Let's just set the wait time to 3. I mean, if you have it already on 3, you don't even need to do that. Then if you just do start without a number there, it'll just do the regular wait time. And we're going to make sure auto start is off because it's not supposed to auto start. And then here's what we're going to do. When the timer ends, that's what this timeout thing is. We're going to do anim player dot play, and then in quotations floor fall. And now we should be good. Let's see. Oh, and there you go. The floor fell. And you saw the weird Steam thing. So yeah, that's how you can use animations. Now, the last thing I'll go into today is areas. So we got an area 3D. You need to add a collision shape to an area, but you don't need a mesh shape. I mean, you don't need a mesh shape for anything. What am I saying? But we're gonna have this area. We're gonna make it 2 by 2 by 2, I want to say. And now what we're going to do is I want to move this over here so the player could walk into it. Our camera's facing that direction, so let's do over here. That way it's walking forwards. Okay. Now we can code it so we can do the area entered functions. You see these? Area entered, area exited. So area entered, body entered, body exited, area exited. I don't use the exited ones, I just use the entered. So area entered, basically it'll detect when another area enters this area. So like, for example, if like we added a hitbox by making an area in the player with a collision shape, that way we could detect like when the player enters another area. So that's what we're gonna do though. Let me show you what I mean by that. We're gonna make a collision shape, an area, just make it a box. 3, 2, 2. Make it a nice little hitbox. 2, 2, 2. So you see that? So now, what this collision shape doesn't affect things. Like this collision shape up here, it's a direct child of the character body. This is the character's collision, so that when it like hits the floor, it won't just fall through. You know, but this body, since it's under an area within the player, this one doesn't affect things like that. But this body is used for the area 3D to see like what the collision on the area 3D is. As in, when this area, based on the collision shape, goes into this area based on its collision shape, it'll detect that. I'll show you what that is. So if we go to our area 3D here, we're going to do area entered, connect that here, and what we're going to do is if area, because it gives us the area. So it already creates this variable on this function where area just means like what area just entered. So we're going to do if area dot name equals area. We're just going to do area 3D. Then what we're going to do is print player entered area. So I'll show you that now. So we got our player here. We're going to go in, and you see it prints player entered area. Oh, and we still have the fall thing going. But basically, when the player, right here, when his hitbox that you can see around him as this area, this shape right here, this area 3D, when that goes into this other area 3D, this area 3D detects that an area entered it, and then we use it in the script to check that the area's name is area 3D. Basically, we could change this to player hitbox, and then check if the name is player hitbox. And if it is, then we know that that's the player, and then we just print player entered area. You could do other things like the player died if that's supposed to kill you or something, or you can make it start playing some sort of music, like if it's an area on a map or something. I don't know. There's a lot of things you can do with that. But yeah, so that's it for today. I've explained a lot in the Godot engine, I think. If you guys want anything more, comment it down below. Tell me what I should show you. And yeah.